Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to connect to your Windows virtual machine. Now, as you're already aware, you cannot use Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, pretty much any program that's built to run on Windows, you can't use on a Chromebook. That's why we built these Windows virtual machines, so you can have access to those programs while you're working on your Chromebook. So in order to connect to your Windows virtual machine, you want to go to your app launcher. Now, on a Chromebook, by default, that's in the lower left of the screen. I, however, moved mine up to the upper right. So I'll click on that. It's the little icon with a magnifying glass. And you'll see here in the center, this little launcher are your most frequently used apps. So Chrome Remote Desktop is one of my most frequently used apps, hence why it's there. However, if you don't see yours there, if you go to All Apps, it'll show up on either the first or the second page. And you see Chrome Remote Desktop right there. So I'll go ahead and click on that. Now, when you open the app, you'll see towards the bottom of the screen, My Computers, and then you'll see a computer that looks with a name that looks kind of like this. It'll say MP- your username or something close to it, -VM. This is what you'll want to connect to. So I'll click on that, and it'll ask me for my PIN. Now, this is the PIN that you gave me when we met and when I initially gave you your Chromebook. Remember, this is that PIN you created. It's a 6-digit long or more PIN. And after you put it in, if you don't want to be asked again to put in your PIN, you can check this little box, and it won't ask you again when you connect to your Windows virtual machine from this Chromebook. I say connect from this Chromebook because with this virtual machine set up, if you have any device that is running Google Chrome, you'll be able to connect to this Windows virtual machine. So I'm going to go ahead and hit connect. And there we go. So there's a few options to resize the window up here towards the upper right. I can make this full screen. I can maximize the window. I can minimize it. I'm going to make this window full screen. There we go. And just get rid of that notification. So if I click, it'll bring me to a login screen. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. Now, as you can see here, I'm connected to a Windows desktop. Like, this is a desktop of a computer running Windows 8. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Windows 8, the biggest difference is what they did with the start menu. Normally in Windows 7, you would click on the button in the lower left and it would pop up the start menu with programs and all sorts of stuff like that. In Windows 8, that button does something a little different. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And that brings up a whole new screen. This is called the Metro interface. It does the same thing that the start menu did in Windows 7. The biggest difference is it just takes up the full screen and looks a little different. You'll see here that I have access to Microsoft Office in the center, those programs. On the right, there are the Google apps. Although I would recommend, if you want to use any of the Google apps, that you just use your Chromebook for them. It'll be a little bit faster and easier. Now, before I open up one of the Office products, if you look on the left, the app called Desktop is how you'll get back to the desktop. So I can just go ahead and click on that and go back to the desktop. But now, I'll click on that button again, go back to the Metro interface, and I'm going to start up Microsoft Word. And I'm going to open up a blank document to show you. The virtual machines are a little unique in that they don't have a lot of storage space. But what we did to get around that is we set up a sync utility so that it will sync with Google Drive. Now, the way you use this utility is you need to save any work you do on the virtual machine to a specific folder, and I'll show you which one. So this is my test, and I'm going to File, we're going to go to Save As, and we're going to go to Browse. And when I click on Browse, you'll see under your favorites a Google Drive folder. I'm going to click on that folder, and I'll have a whole bunch of folders here. This folder is actively syncing with my Google Drive, and as your folders will be syncing with your Google Drive. So anything you create on this virtual machine, you'll want to make sure you save it somewhere in this folder. And if you want to make new folders and all that inside of this, that is something that you can do. You can create a new folder and it will sync with your drive accordingly. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. And there we go. It's saved inside my drive. Now, I'm going to close this out and open up the Google Drive folder. Now, as you can see here, this is just a snapshot of my Google Drive. And there's all sorts of the documents and everything in there. However, let's see here. This is the document I just created. This is my test document. Even though it's syncing with Google Drive, it is a Microsoft Word document. Therefore, when I go to open it, it opens up in Microsoft Word. So in this way, even though all of your files will be syncing with Drive, you'll still be able to open them up in Microsoft Office when you need to do so. So that mostly concludes the tour of your Windows virtual machine. However, there is one last step, and that's disconnecting. In order to disconnect from your virtual machine, you'll want to go to the bottom where it says your desktop is currently shared with, hopefully you. You want to click that button that says stop sharing. And with that, you are disconnected from your virtual machine. So let's close that app out.